Welcome back to the show here on SuperTalk Mississippi. I'm Mandy Gunasekara, filling in for Paul Gallo this Friday morning. And I'm super excited to be joined with our hometown congressman up here in northern Mississippi, Congressman Trent Kelly. Welcome.
Great to be here, Mandy.
Glad you're here. And we have another congressman here with us, Congressman Jeff Duncan, who represents South Carolina's 3rd District.
That's correct.
And what areas does that cover?
That's the northwest corner of the state. Clemson University, you may have heard of it. They win a national championship occasionally. But it's great to be in Mississippi and great to be with you.
Yeah, well, hotty-totty back to you, but we are glad you are here to
I'll
talk
say
about
hotty-totty. I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow.
I know. That was my most important question. Who are you rooting for tomorrow?
I'm pulling for Ole Miss. So, I'm here for Trent Kelly, and it's going to be a great day. I think the weather's going to be perfect, and I'm ready to see them beat Auburn.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if our Kentucky win was the upset. I always feel like with Ole Miss, we get one big upset a year.
That isn't going to happen tomorrow, though.
No, you don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
All right, well, we'll see. We don't have to get into sports. Let's talk about something a little bit less divisive. Let's get into the politics of what's going on in Washington.
Oh, yeah, that's really less divisive.
I know. Well, let's. How are y'all feeling about the midterms? I know I'm excited about the prospect of changing the direction of this country in less than 2 years. We've seen this country go from true prosperity, setting aside COVID, but we had a strong economy. We had a president that celebrated this country, that put American interests first, and that has totally been turned around, and we've been dealing with all sorts of consequences. So, Congressman Kelly, if we could start with you, how are you feeling about the midterms, and do you think we're going to take back the House?
Oh, I absolutely do, and I feel really good. It's like CNN, who does not want to report anything positive of Republicans, but they're scared of being so wrong again. They just did a poll, basically a generic ballot in the 60 races that matter, and it's like 49, 43 for Republicans. So in the areas that matter, we're going to do well. We're going to perform well. We're going to win some seats that we hadn't won, quite frankly, in a long time.
Yeah, that'll be great. We'll have a formidable Republican presence back on Capitol Hill, and we can reinstitute some of these conservative principles that are going to be really important going forward. At the root of that is energy policy, and Congressman Duncan, you are on the Energy and Commerce Committee. First of all, will you have a gavel next Congress?
Well, we're trying to get the Energy Subcommittee gavel because I really believe in energy and energy policy. Under President Trump, we are energy independent, actually a net exporter of oil, and we can be there. We're blessed in this nation with abundant natural resources, but unfortunately we're cursed by liberal politicians who want to push us toward this liberal green agenda. And I like wind and solar. I'm an all-of-the-above guy, but I know what works, and that is transportation fuels that are fossil fuels, nuclear power, hydro, advanced nuclear reactors. But fossil fuels is what makes America great, gives us the strength, and we're not relying on foreign sources of energy. So one thing I want to do, Mandy, is bring the Department of Energy in and have them sit at that table and justify their existence, because they were created 1978-ish by Jimmy Carter to end our dependence on foreign sources of energy. We're more dependent today than we ever have been. So they failed in their mission. So what's the future look like for the Department of Energy, and what's the future look like for energy here in America when Americans know that they were paying a lot less for gasoline and diesel fuel at the pump under Donald Trump. They know that Joe Biden administration is directly responsible for increasing prices. They can try to shift the blame to Vladimir Putin, but when you cancel leases and you cancel future lease sales, you cancel production on American soil, whether that's offshore or onshore, we know who's directly responsible, and it's the Democrats and led by President Biden.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's put us in this position of vulnerability for no real reason. We used to not pay as much attention to what was going on with OPEC because it didn't impact us like it does today. So here we are going into the midterms, and OPEC just announced that they're going to be cutting production by 2 million barrels. Meanwhile, President Biden has spent the entire summer draining our strategic petroleum reserve, using it for a political problem he himself has created. But Congressman Kelly, back to you really quick. You're out. You've been out in the district. What are folks saying about gas prices?
Oh, they're sick about gas prices. They're sick about what they're having to pay at the grocery store. They're sick about what they're paying for their electric bills and gas bills, heating and cooling. Cooling right now, but it'll soon be heat.
Yeah.
Listen, they can't afford to to live. I mean, what is it, $8,000 a household that is costing us based on Biden's policies? He has just been horrible for energy. He's been horrible for the economy. And it's kind of funny, when Obama was here, gas prices went up, the economy got worse, all those same things, and they blamed that on Bush. And now Biden's here, and gas prices go up, the economy's worse, we're about to hit a recession if we're not already in one, inflation is out of the run, and it's Trump's fault. Isn't it funny that they cause these problems when they're in office, but it's the other person's fault before them?
Yeah, I do remember we had a lot to show for ourselves in a very short period of time during the Trump administration, and we would always get questions or pushback from some of the mainstream media, Democrat allies / activists that, well, that's just a hangover. Those are ripple effects of the good policies that former President Obama had put into place. So you're exactly right. They're never going to get people who are thinking through what are the best policies for this country and thinking about it from the purview of the American family and the experience that they're having. Now, something Leader McCarthy released not too long ago was this commitment to America. Congressman Duncan, were you a part of this? Were you part of the energy dominance was a big piece of that? But what is that message that is in the commitment to America, and what can you say that gives the families, like Congressman Kelly was just talking about, that gives them hope that when Republicans take back over, we're going to be able to shift the country back in a much better direction and provide some serious relief?
Yeah, so we were all involved in the commitment to America. It's one thing Kevin McCarthy did is he created focus groups and subcommittees, ad hoc committees within the conference to work on whether environmental policy, crime, the border, other issues that are important to Americans. And let me just go back to one thing on energy policy. We do see the president right now draining the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Trent's on Armed Services and Intel, and we can both tell you, we just had Hurricane Ian. Strategic Petroleum Reserve is there for America during time of crisis, whether it's a time of war or threat of war or a national disaster. It's not for lowering gas prices, not to be used as a political tool, but we're seeing that. In fact, Donald Trump wanted to replenish and actually expand the SPR, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. But yet we see President Biden travel 11,000 miles to beg the Saudis to increase oil production. He should have gone to Port Fourchon or to the Permian Basin in Texas and talk to the energy producers there about increasing American production. Yeah. That's a winning strategy for the United States of America, not going to beg a foreign country to help us. So on the commitment to America, energy policy is a big part of that. Energy security is national security, and so we're working hard on that. The commitment talks about a safe and secure America, a prosperous America, get our economy back on track. Americans know, especially here in Mississippi and South Carolina, Americans go to the grocery store, they have fewer choices. They're paying more for the choices that are there. That's directly responsible to the supply chain and the Biden administration not working on things like baby formula. We're the United States of America. We should easily be able to address the baby formula issue when it came up.
Yeah.
The inflation prices are directly related to energy. And I'm going to keep talking about energy because that's my passion and something I'm working on. But the diesel fuel that truckers use to deliver those goods to the store that you buy, when they pay more for that diesel fuel, that cost is passed on. That increases the prices or inflation of prices that they deliver. So Americans are paying more. They're paying more to go get it because of their transportation fuel prices, but they're also paying more at the store because the truckers and the industry, the producers, the farmers, they're paying more for input costs. That's diesel fuel for the tractors to plant and harvest. That's fertilizer, assuming they can find it, which is a natural gas derivative. So all that's translating to higher prices, less security, food security, energy security, national security. It all plays in.
Yeah, and it's this plan that's come out, this commitment to America, it's refreshing in the sense that Republicans are going to hit the ground running on day one. It's not just ideas, which are important, but there are substantive policies that everyone has been working on. We're going to have to go to a break in just a little bit, but Congressman Kelly, really quick, obviously energy policy is a huge part of this, but as Congressman Duncan mentioned, so is security. And so and we'll be able to get more into this in the next segment, but what what are some of the elements that you're going to be working on to enhance national security and restore national security in ways we've seen erode under President Biden?
Well, I think to sum it up real quickly is just we don't want a woke military. We do not want a woke. We don't want an identity politics military. We want oversight on FBI and CIA to make sure that they're doing the things that they're supposed to and not spying inward but spying outward, and then border security. And then as a former district attorney, we've got to get after these DAs and federal prosecutors who will not prosecute crimes unless it's Republicans who commit them, in which case they'll get you for something small and send you to jail forever.
That's right. Well, we're going to pick up on that as soon as we get back from the break. For our listeners, stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break, but I am here with Congressman Trent Kelly, our hometown congressman here in northern Mississippi, and Congressman Jeff Duncan from South Carolina. We've got a lot more to talk about, so stay tuned.